this and...
Give me all you got!
Alright, it's Sleaze. How about Al Cocaino there for you there? Go back and watch that again. Watch, instead of watching Al Pacino, watch the actor in the front. When he says, "Give me all you got" the first time, watch that actor jump. He had no idea he was going to do that. It's pretty funny. Alright, Story 5, The Last Array.
There's reports a team of
Prior to the moon mission being open for a very limited amount of time on the final Saturday of the beta, this was the last story part.
Other colonies in the system.
The difficulty is level 8 normal, which was matched with the level of the character. And so solo, it was a pretty decent challenge. But if you were relatively competent and had the weapons, you could do this without being downed or without dying. Or being reset.
Last heard from near the Skywatch.
So here you go, you know, bang, spawn, sparrow, gone. Including, you know, when you have to. Just running people over. That just has to be done. I mean, just get the fuck out of my way. I've got somewhere to go, let's get this over with, you know? Exploring, you want to look around, all that shit, yeah, well, we could do that, but you could also just wait and do that on the explore levels. But, whatever. At this point, just showing the mission is like, let me get through this. Hunter female, same character continues. There's been a weapon change here in the primary category. Got rid of the Sahara, which was the high rate of fire, low impact gun. GOZEN-C, better scope here, which made for better things. Now, headshots like that early in the beta, gold score almost every time. Last 2 or 3 days, I don't know. Some of those bosses, they just wouldn't drop that score on you. And I don't know if it was a matter of where you were hitting him. Because usually when you hit that one-shot headshot, it was just gold magic. You know. So, I don't know. Anybody else experienced that stuff? Let me know if you did. It'd be comedy to hear about if anybody else was like, what's going on.
We're heading back through that
but primary, got rid of, you know, the Sahara, which was an upgradable rifle, which gave you some nice, you know, benefits. Had an attack of 62. Gave it up for this Plano rifle that has only an attack of 51, but had a way higher impact. And impact makes a difference. Impact equals damage for these guns. And even though this gun had an overall less attack, it did way more damage. That prior Sahara, you'd bounce headshots like this, they'd be 57. These are 75, so you're dealing more damage with the lesser weapon. The other thing is that the gloves or gauntlets that the character's wearing have an upgrade that allows for a short period of high reload, like real high speed reload on this gun, and you'll see the benefit of that here. So playing solo, just thought it might be better to use a gun that I knew had way more impact and would do more damage than to use an upgradable rifle that had a, you know, almost silly rate of fire and zero impact. So you know, gambled on using this one thinking that I could get through it. You know, and I was playing all these missions with the exception of the tutorial on the very last day of the beta, just trying to record a real quick solo run on these. So that's why I just kind of mixed it up, made a couple of choices in some categories. The other thing that'll be nice is you'll finally see some use of that Sargon-C heavy machine gun. And that one was one that was also had upgrades to it, and I believe I'd completed a few upgrades by this point, so there'll be some good ridiculousness with that one later. This is some real co-op one-on-one stuff here, using a wall or a corner, like this, a building, whatever it is, and playing one side against the other. Peekaboo on one side, do some damage, you get damaged a little bit, fade into the middle, heal a little bit, and then move over to the other side and kind of bounce backwards side to side, and just chop them up that way. Finally, you'll see a little golden gunplay here, but actually some really bad golden gunplay here, because as you'll notice, by the time I spawn the golden gun here, it's down to the final enemy. I was just like, let me get rid of the guy, but really, with a 3-shot limited meter, you see the meter running down, the gold meter on the left side. You got 3 shots, or the time that meter runs to get those 3 shots off. But I decided to use it at the end on the last boss, only needing 1 shot, hit him with a headshot, and it was over with. But really, you want to spawn that gun with maybe 3 or 4 enemies, and so once you learn the level a little bit better, you'll be able to make better judgments on things
ghosts
like
are
that.
still
Again,
here.
I was just
The
kind of
fallen
flying through this stuff, trying to get a solo run recorded. Now this is interesting, these drops that some of these characters make. You're looking for items here, in this case dead ghosts, or
dead.
ghosts in general.
Keep hunting.
This was also part of the explore levels, if you remember, when you would do a short little mission, and in the explore level you'd have item drops from characters that you needed to collect in order to complete a short mission. This was an interesting aspect, having other just random people in here that are just laying waste for whatever reason to just these random enemies here, instead of advancing the story like they should. But you know, hey, that's the great thing, you can do what you want. It did get a little bit annoying sometimes if you were running one of these missions and you were looking for a particular enemy that would drop something, especially in the explore levels, and people would just be laying waste you know, to those
Let's find the array.
NPCs, and you wouldn't be able to get the drops you needed, so you'd have to run around and find a different group. So here, banging the sparrow all over the place, but really to the purpose of getting the story going again here and getting the hell out of here. So, I like the rifle change in primary here just because of the heavier damage. I'll give up the upgradable stuff just to be able to put the hurt on a little bit more. Miracle knife throws, you're going to see a good amount of those in this. I don't know what happened. It was a mistake. You know, what can I say? But wow, this scope upgrade was pretty nice on the Gozen. You can dial in a little bit better somehow with the upgrade on the scope. You know, not only just does it look better and it's clearer and crisper and easier to see, but the motion of it, kind of like the same way that it works in Uncharted 3 when you have scoped in on and it's ranked all the way up, you get the benefit of being able to kind of not only get a better scope or reticule, but also the movement of it and swinging it into the position that you want becomes smoother and easier. Okay, another lottery knife throw here. That's something that I did a lot, was underthrow both the knife a lot. I was having trouble with that, and I also underthrew my grenades, especially at the beginning, quite a bit. You know, not being used to kind of how things are done in a Bungie game, or getting your hands on a Bungie game for the first time. So I saw also there was something with some upgrades, where you could fire grenades further or something. I don't know what it was, and I don't remember where it was. Maybe somebody does. If you do, let me know. I just couldn't figure that one out. But I could have swore I saw something that had an upgrade to allow you to throw grenades further. Here you'll see a little bit more of that kind of peekaboo play. I'm going to use this building on my right here to play these other NPCs that are up on the stairs, to try to damage from this angle a little bit, and when I get hurt enough I'll move over and let them shoot on the other target, and then just kind of get a cheap flank basically on these guys, but it allows you to chop them up pretty good, and you can stand in there and take a little damage and cool off as you kind of move from one side to the other and play them one side to the other. But when you're playing by yourself, this is the kind of stuff you have to kind of do, especially if you're playing a difficulty that's above your head, if you want to survive. And you know, I found in the beta, again, as said before, that backing up helped a lot. You know, if you were really taking damage or really in bad shape and had to recover, you could just back up as much as possible, and then regroup and be able to get back in there and deal what damage had to be dealt. So yeah, gladly gave up the Sahara, you know, super automatic rifle for just a plain workhorse here that, you know, puts the damage on. You'll notice that in some cases when there's a lot of stuff going on screen, this is something that I found that happened on the beta a little bit, was that the sound would drop out sometimes. You would throw a grenade or you would take damage or something, and there was just so much shit going on that the sound would just cut out, or it wouldn't be able to produce the sound. And I don't know if this was something that was more of a problem maybe with PS3 because it couldn't handle it, or if it was something that maybe the folks that played you know, the beta on PS4, if they experienced any of that kind of sound cutting out or dropping out when just a million things are happening on the screen at the same time. And I found it happened a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see whether that is smoothed out or whether that's something you still experience. You know, when the game actually launches. So, you know, you gotta wait forever, but you will get some of this heavy machine gun Sargon-C stuff coming up here. You'll see some lucky stuff like that right there. But jumping and throwing knives, yeah, you can do that kind of stuff like we talked about before. And you're gonna see some people do some crazy shit with the movement and jumpability of these characters. Here's another lucky one coming up. How ridiculous was that? Just a mistake, basically, that just goes good somehow. You know, so yeah, the upgraded scope on this thing, you know, you're able to just really kind of put it where you want it, you know, and that's the appeal. And it's hard for people that, I mean, people that watch videos of Destiny or basing or judging the game off of watching the videos, it doesn't do it any justice, because, you know, you just can't appreciate this game for what it is until you've actually controlled a character in it. You know, once you have a chance to fool around with the character, you see where the appeal comes from. The combination of that and the gunplay. Plus the ability to goof off and stuff like that, and party up and play with other people, and have choices about what kind of game mode you want to play, is interesting. So you'll see me doing some stupid stuff here. This thing is, you know, it's about to send some ships in with a ton of enemies coming in or whatever. But this is one of the things that I would do in the beta, was to fool around with these ships that shoot shots at you, and I wanted to know, you know, do those shots just kind of heat seek you and track you and follow you no matter what, or if I stand on this left side, will all the shots go to the left side? But in this case, you can see they kind of track you down. So you do stupid stuff like that. Now look at the damage on this gun, 149, done. Okay, just chopping people up, and the feel for some of the heavy machine guns. And I played with this one a lot, and a couple of the other ones. Xerxes, I think I might have got my hands on that one, and then there was another one, I can't remember what it was, that was good. But the feel of those guns when you shoot them, it's like what I imagine shooting a what's called a Ma Deuce, one of those 50 caliber guns, you know, that date back to like, I think those things date back to like World War I. That's what I imagine shooting a Ma Deuce kind of feels like, only it's in your hands. And that's a huge appeal for this game. It's a blast to just sit there and wreck shop with a weapon that you know you'll be able to use. And it's funny because in all these playthroughs, you'll notice that it's very rare for me to use the super. I just didn't use it that much, and you'll see me waste it at the end of this sequence, because again, at this level, when it was a difficulty at the exact level of your player, even solo, you didn't even need to use the super. You could destroy these enemies with whatever you had. You know, that was the semi-boss right there. He gets just toast. You know, no chance. It's not even fair. At this point, which is why I'm really interested to see what happens with difficulties in this game, and how high can you play above your head. If you don't want to play at a difficulty that's at your level, but you want to play one that's substantially harder, are you going to be able to do that? I don't know. I know it's going to be a setting in some different modes, but in the regular story stuff, what's the deal? You know, how does that operate? So we'll see. And again, I'm always wondering, is that something that the Vanguard weapons are about in the pre-order, to allow you to play at a difficulty that's above your head and still be able to survive it? So it'll be interesting to toy around with that once this game is out in the open. So plenty of this Sargon-C, and it was a blast. But again, much like the auto rifles, I didn't full auto these guns too much unless I was in deep shit, or I was intentionally running up on somebody to stick it right in their mug. For the most part, I single shot it or burst shot it in order to try to control it and be a little bit more precise with it, even though precision is definitely the furthest thing from my game. But you can see it deals some heavy shit, Got pretty close to being down there. But I think it was down to that one there and just this big guy. And like I said, I didn't even get to the super. I was having too much fun shooting that damn heavy machine gun. Which is, those are a kick to shoot. Those are fun. You know, you do some serious damage with these things. So, alright. That's the last array. Here's your wasted golden gun. You know, just like a kickback in Uncharted 3 where you don't get a chance to use it. You waste it. So, yeah, doable.
The array.
Difficulty the same level as you. Alright, there's possibly a few more videos in the works. We'll see if we can squeeze these out. There's the moon mission, which is story 6. And there's also a strike. So we'll see if we can cram those in before this game releases. And I would say what we'll probably do is do story 6 next and try to cram in that moon mission so you can see that, and then we'll try to wrap it up with the strike. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Finally had a halfway decent game as far as some accuracy here with 83 out of 123 precise kills. Not bad for just some blind luck, you know? Get lucky like that every once in a while. Alright, so the next one is going to be this story 6, which is the Dark Beyond, I think. That's that crazy moon mission, and this one is, I'll talk about it a little bit, but it wasn't open for long. Alright, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!